Let's bring out our next storyteller, Mojdeh.
Y'all feeling all right? Oh, good. This is a very warm room. It's a very warm room. I'm used to performing for high schoolers. It's a whole other situation. It's a whole other situation. This is a nice, chill situation, though, here. Um, so I'm Afro-Persian, and there are two different kinds of Afro-Persians. There's the ones that have been hidden behind a mountaintop such that people that are my age or my mom's age don't even know they're there anymore. There's those Afro-Persians, and then there's those of us who became Afro-Persian by way of union between two people. So my parents met in Africa, my mom coming from Tehran, and my dad coming from here. They met in Ghana and married in Sierra Leone. And eventually immigrated back to the States so that my dad could finish his undergrad in rural Iowa. It's the place to take your brand new Persian queen. Rural Iowa. Well done, Dad. Well done. Playa. Well done, Dad. And so my mom speaks very fondly of being in Iowa. She really loved the sweetness of sort of country folk, basically. But she had a very stark bipolar experience in the broader community, right? There were enough people that didn't like having a foreigner around, right? And she couldn't detach from her voice, her accent. She couldn't detach from her lived experiences. So there were enough people in the community that just didn't want her there. And then there were several people in the community that thought she was like pocket-sized and adorable with her adorable accent and all of the strange things that she would cook. And then they'd have cultural exchange, and here's a hot dish. Okay, there's a lot of cream in this. And my mom would be like, here's choresh karafs. And they'd be like, there's a lot of herbs in this. And it'd be a cute situation, right? Cultural exchange. And really, when she talks about this time in Iowa, she's really, really viscerally living in that sense of like love between some folks, right? But the difference between being ostracized and then objectified really did create this situation where she was like, I will never teach my children my language because I don't want them to have the same experience of this like limited number of people that they can have in their lives, right, that will welcome them in. So when my dad got a job in Chicago, here we are, he started working for Sun Times. He got a journalism job straight out of college. Well done, Dad. That was a better well done than bringing Persian Queen to Iowa, but that's fine. That's fine. We forgive him. And as we got older, we started really asking our mom why she never taught us Farsi. And she would tell us, like, we didn't want you to have an accent, we didn't want you to be treated differently. But we're looking at our peers, because there's more Persian. There are Persians here. There weren't in rural Iowa, but there are Persians here. So I'm looking at my kids my age that I see at Sunday school and all of these things, and I'm like, they speak Farsi fluently. And then they speak English, and you have no idea they speak another language. Mom, why didn't you teach us? Right? And so at some point she starts to feel like, gosh, why didn't I teach you? But we're old enough that she can't just talk around us, right? She can't just do it by osmosis or however that works with tiny humans, right? She'd have to actually give a lesson, which I love my mom, but she's a terrible teacher in this regard. And so, at some point she had this desire, this like visceral desire to make sure that we could speak the language that she speaks, the language of our people. And in fact, because our faith was born in the same place that she was raised, it's the language of our faith too. So she's this much more invested, better late than never, right? I'm not sure exactly when she had this sort of epiphany to teach us. What I do know is that moment in which she had the epiphany that this was the first lesson. That I know. I was with her in the car as she had said epiphany. Let me give you context. We were coming home from school. My mom's not a great driver. That's an important note. I love her. She's a very nervous driver. If we talked between siblings in the car, she was very nervous. Stop it talking, right? If we turned on the radio, turn the radio off. You are making me nervous. I just want to drive. You want to go home or you want me nervous? So, there are moments where we figured out, like, okay, we push mom's buttons all the time. We don't know why she's nervous. We don't have enough language in the universe to understand what that really means yet. But what we do know is when we get home, there's this brief period of time where we just stop doing anything to let my mom concentrate because we didn't have a garage. We had this, like, very narrow alleyway, very narrow alleyway. There was, like, gravelly. There's brick on this side. If you're in a passenger seat, it's really right here. And then there's trees on this side and a tree up here, so there's really no even driving past far enough that you can just drive around, right? So it's a careful dance of physics for my nervous mom when she's driving, right? So as kids, we're like, cool, the car already tells you the stories. The side of the car tells you the stories. So we know better than to get wild in these moments. But on this particular day, for whatever reason, as we turn off the street and into the alleyway, this is when lesson begins. Okay, Mojdeh, we are going to learn Farsi now, but first you have to know this sound. Say it with me. Ra, 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 ra. And of course, I'm like, no, Mom, we're in prayer mode. We're quiet now. We don't need, say with me. This sound is not in your language. We say ra, ra, ra. It's in so many words, the ra. So, okay, Mom, you drive, I ra. You drive, I ra. You just, I ra. I understand, Mom, right? And finally, we almost make it around the corner without being scathed, but we were slightly scathed. The car tells you this story. So it's fine. I've learned my first Farsi lesson. I've learned a consonant that does not exist in our language. I will never forget. I will never forget this sound, right? Or how to make this sound from my soul at this point, from the trauma soul. So this lesson passes. Fine. My aunt at this point has moved in with us because we're brown, and that's what happens. So my aunt's living with us. She finds out that I've had this Farsi lesson and has it just sort of filed away. So the next time she is driving me someplace, and I don't know, maybe we just learned tennis in gym class or something, but I had a new interest in tennis, and I asked my aunt if she has any tennis balls that I can borrow so I can go, like, play with my friends. And she says, maybe if you ask me in Farsi, right? And I was like, okay, I guess you don't have tennis balls. I don't know what the plan is. You didn't teach me Farsi, not my fault, right? And she's like, no, you just ask me in Farsi, maybe I have a tennis ball, right? And so then she proceeds to teach me how to say this, right? With a similar intensity to the ra, she teaches me how to say, do you, by chance, have a tennis ball for me? Man, tupe tennis nedaram. I will never forget. It was a trauma lesson. Never forget. Okay, fine. She really pushed this. And my aunt and I, we have a complex relationship. Best described by, say, when her birthday comes around and I call and ask things like, Auntie, do you maybe want new walker? Or do you want gold-plated dentures? She's not that old. But this is how it's been since I was small, right? This is how we joke. I thought I would get back at her and now teach her a lesson. So I came to her and I said, okay, I think we're going to do this. I want to learn Khale June, Auntie Dearest. Teach me Farsi. Can you teach me how to say that I love someone? And she says, of course, okay, yes. Okay, it's man, khale, دوست دارم. Okay, cool. I think I got it. Scurried away. I came back. Okay, Khale dearest, Khale June. How do I say that I think someone is beautiful? She says, Ochesh. Just sort of like, aw, you're asking me how to say I'm beautiful, obviously. Says, Man fek mi konam, Khale, recheli choshkele is. So, okay, take a little note, run away. Little does she know that when I've run away, I'm getting a separate Farsi lesson. I've gone to my mom now, and I've said, hey, Mom, how do I say the word little bit? How do I say I like something a little bit? And I asked some questions about the like grammar of each of these sentences. And then I asked my mom, how do I say crazy? Just crazy. How do I say that? So then I came back to my aunt and I was like, Khale June, Auntie dearest, I think I know how to do this. Man, Khale, recheli, cheli, duset derem, kam duset derem. And I ran away. Kam means very little, very little. I love my aunt, very, very little. I thought it was very clever, but I was afraid, so I ran away. And then I came back, and I was like, all right, okay, I'm sorry, Auntie. Obviously, I'm now about to tell her how beautiful she is. I say, man, fek mi konam. I think, Khale, my aunt, is cheli, divone is. And I ran away. I think my aunt is very, 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 very crazy. And I ran away. My mom and my aunt thought this was actually hilarious. So my goal of giving this gift of an insult didn't quite work. They pulled me in, called Iran long distance. In those days, it wasn't cheap. And said, say it again to Grandma. And I was like, you want me to say what to Grandma? So I said it again, then ran away. And then, and I'm thinking here like, man, this gift of an insult really got flipped on me. This is just our family way. Gifts in any sort of way just don't quite work. Even with my mom, if I give her a gift, now granted, the gifts I give my mom are a lot more loving, it doesn't work. She goes and she returns it. She brings something back for us, right? Very sweet. My mom's adorable. But that's meant we've had to learn how to, give gifts to my mom that are like experiences or things that are perishable or just something other than an object, right? So when I was turning 21 and my mom's birthday was going to be, July as it always is, for her 58th birthday, I thought to myself, I'm going to treat myself to Farsi lessons. I'm going to treat myself to these lessons because it will make me feel like I'm working towards something. And then when we get to Mom's birthday, her gift will be a conversation. And that's going to be awesome. So I'm doing the lessons every night before bed, all the way to and from college classes, all the things. Birthday comes. I call home. My aunt picks up because we're brown and she's never moved out. Aunt picks up the phone. And I say, Khale June, where's Mom? Mom is asleep. Go get Mom. Mom is asleep. Go get Mom. Okay. She gets my mom. My mom's really groggy. Hello? Maman. Selam. Haletun chetore. My mom is confused. Who is this? Selam maman. Haletun chetore. Hi, Mom. How are you today? Who is this? Maman. Selam. Haletun chetore. Who is this? Why you are calling me? Who you are? Who put you up to this? How do you know where my phone is? You have called me. You have come to my phone to make me scared. Who are you? Okay, Mom. It's me. happy birthday. I just wanted to have a conversation with you in Farsi. I've been taking lessons. Happy birthday. Pregnant pause. Mojdeh Judge, she speaks Farsi now. Hold on. Speakerphone. Gets my aunt. Okay, say it again. I think the message in this part of my life was really that language, like we all learn language in so many different ways. We have all these relationships with language. It ties us to our heritage, ties us to family. But really what it comes down to is that it's a forever transient gift just coming back and forth in whatever kind of positive or negative mess that it is. And we say it again, and you say it again, and we say it again, and you say it again. And that's just what these words do. Thank you so much.